Hi and happy Monday, everybody. This is Christine Bertram, and I'm coming to you live from my hive here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Woohoo! And can you tell that it's really bright? I am so excited about the changing temperatures, and it was 76 degrees today, and oh, there I am already. Perfect. Yay. So it's bright out, and I've been noticing every day it's getting lighter and lighter later, which is awesome. I'm so excited. And the flowers are starting to pop out of the ground. So you're seeing green around. It's awesome. Hi, Luann. So, this Monday night stamping, it made me realize that I'm really happy that I don't do classes on Monday nights. Oh, hi Jill, hi Faye, hi Janet. So doing mystery night on Monday night is fine because you guys are doing all the work. Hi Brenda, hi Barb, hi Tammy. And hi Kim, Vicky's here too, woohoo. I can't remember the last time, if ever, I've done a real class on a Monday where I had to be prepared. Oh yes, this is one of my favorite colors. I call this Rococo Rose or Mauve. I love it. Hi Philly, hi Bonnie, hi Jean from Pennsylvania. Nancy's here too, Susan as well, woohoo! So yeah, Monday night stamping. I have been going into the office on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I was there until 5. I was home at 5:15, and I was like a mad lady all over the place, trying to get everything ready for tonight. Not like I left it all for tonight. I left a little for tonight. Hi Tony, hi Patty, hi Lori from Lake Elmo. Ooh, I missed it. Lake Elmo, Minnesota, woohoo! You just finished the April 1st video and your husband is waiting for you so you can eat supper. Yes, return when you can. So, wow. Hi Carol, hi Sharon, hi Kara. Kathy Jackson, Iola, Wisconsin, woohoo! So as you guys are popping in, I really appreciate you that you share the video with your friends and family on Facebook. We have grown within the last 3 or 4 weeks by 50 people. It's crazy how fast that 50 went. So hi Stacy Ray, hi Arliss. So this Monday night stamping is not for me. we're gonna rock it and we're gonna roll it, girls. But I'm realizing that Thursday night is where it's at for me. I think that it's awesome that I set my schedule up, that I have the in-person class on Wednesday, and then I have everything ready for me on Thursday. And I did this Stamparatus 101 class in person. I think it was March 1st or March 5th. March 5th it was. It was, or it could have been the 3rd. Whatever the first Wednesday in March was. Hi, Kathy King, woohoo! Oh, hi, Linda from Oklahoma. Okay, so we're doing the Stamparatus 101 class, and I did it a month ago in person, and so I had to pull everything together. And then on top of it, you guys, oh man, my new order came with all of the product, and I don't know if you guys can see, but my chairs, I'm redoing the bottoms of them so they slide, but there's a little pile right there, right on the corner there. You can see it's all pretty papers, cardstock. So my new order came, and it's as a demonstrator. Hi Dar, hi Marcia. As a demonstrator, you can order out of the new annual catalog. There's a subset of items that they allow demonstrators to order early, so we can start playing with it and start making samples and start working ahead for our classes. And of course, this girl gets home at 5:15, and the first thing that she does is open up a box because I want to show you guys the prizes. I had promised on Thursday night that I would show you the prizes for game night. Hi Sarah, hi Linda Hodge, woohoo! Yes, show you. I'm not going to show you everything that I got. I don't want to ruin some of the surprises of new catalog stuff, but I will definitely show you. I promised you guys I would show you what is going to be for prizes. Hi Sandy Wicklander, for prizes on game night. So game night is Thursday, and it's the playing 5 games of lucky numbers and making 4 cards. Thanks for sharing the video, Sarah. Yes, you got your happy mail last week. Wonderful, wonderful. Hi, Sandy Fisher. Hi, Latokia. Hey, Pam Newhauser. So the prizes are what people can win on Thursday. And now you have to be registered and paid for. And I have it closed I sold my last one over the weekend. I begged, stole, and borrowed a couple things to make an extra kit happen, and so we have it. Kathy Jackson, yours went in the mail today, and Linda Hodge, yours went in the mail today. You guys are the last people to get kits and packages in the mail. Hi, Brenda Little. Hi, Tammy Steckling. So Tammy would have got her Stampin' Up! Package. Oh, God, you gotta love getting Stampin' Up! Boxes. That's what you wrote. Absolutely. Hi, Kay. So I mailed those off. So you guys, as I'm showing you these prizes, please don't ask if you can still register. It will make me feel bad because I will have to say no, and I hate saying no, but I had to cut it off because I don't have more goodie bags. Hi, Carolyn Denstedt. Carolyn, I believe you were a winner of something last week, I think. Carolyn, not to change the subject, guys, but Carolyn, you were a lucky winner of the mystery card, one of the prizes, and I need your address. I don't know if you gave it to me, or if you did, I might have missed it. I did go away to Green Bay for a night with Tyler. We snuck away. We left Friday at 5, and then we went straight to my parents on Sunday for Easter, and it was a sneaking emails and messages to people so that Tyler wouldn't see them. Don't tell him. I was doing a little bit of work while we were away, but I may miss things when that happens, and so I try to stay on my A game. But if you guys don't hear back from me in a reasonable amount of time, you can reach out to me again, and don't feel bad like you're a pest or anything, because sometimes I do miss things. So I never want you feeling like that at all. And if I can't find something and I'm looking for it, I will message you too. So hi, Melanie. Hi, Julie. Yeah, so Carolyn, yep, send me a message and I'll make sure to get your prize. Hi, Kathy, back. Woohoo! So yeah, that's a lot of stuff in a nutshell. So prizes though. So you guys, again, game night is full, and also I am full for ink, paper, scissors on Friday. So you guys, there's 3 online Facebook Live classes this week. You get me a lot. I hope you don't get sick of me. So, okay, so let me flip down, and you guys, this is gonna be a hot mess of a lot of stuff. So, all right, prize 1. Oh, Tammy, you did get your mail from me on Saturday. That's what I thought you were talking about. So yes, Tammy, you would have got your package. So these are one of the prizes, you guys. These are all of the new ink colors, and they are the blends. So this is one prize in and of itself. So we have 5 prizes. So all the ink colors, and this might show it to you a little bit better what the colors are. Hi, Gwen. So the new ink colors, and you guys may or may not have seen these, but now that I have the product in my hands, hi Stacey Burns, I can show you guys product. I just can't show you inside the catalog. So one of the ink colors is called Fresh Freesia. The other is Polished Pink. We have Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent, and Evening Evergreen. All right, so these 5 ink pads, Barb, I'm glad you got yours too. Because I had a couple more people sign up at the end, I had a little more money to play with, so I added on the re-inkers. So one of the prize packages are all of the ink pads with all of the re-inkers. The value is around $50 some, like 55. I don't know, this is 33 and this is 16. So that's one of the prizes. All right. Then the markers, the blends are a prize, and they're whatever 9 times 5 is $45. Then I chose 3 bundles that I could order. This is one of my favorite bundles in the catalog. It's called Inspired Thoughts, and I'm gonna open this, so whoever wins this, just know I'm opening it up because you guys gotta see the dies. The dies are fabulous. I signed up for a swap that I'm hosting, and I chose this set. I think it's one of my favorite bundles, and before I put that in there, it's the trees. So awesome. And then you can die cut to make it look like there's greenery on the trees. I'm thinking that's a little circle for a tire to hang from one of the trees, and then there's a hilly side here. So this is one of the prizes too for game night. I'll put that back later. Woohoo! Okay, so then Pansy Patch is another one. So you guys, Stampin' Up! Loves flowers. I think they just love flowers. I don't mind at all because I absolutely love flowers. So I can never have too many flowers. So when they introduced this pansy set, I was all over head over heels with this one. I can't wait to start creating. I love this one. I am actually doing an ink, paper, scissors class. It's featuring pansy petals for June. So you guys can watch for that in June. 4 cards featuring this bundle. So one person is going to win this bundle right here. It is a beautiful one. And you guys, there's paper that matches this. There's little bee trinkets. Very, very pretty. All right. Then the last bundle is called Hand Penned Petals. And this is like a 2-step stamp where you can stamp this and then fill in with foliage. And there are some dies that go with this as well. This is a suite. It has some designer paper and it has some gems that goes with it. And this, oh, let's get out of here. The tape is stuck. So that's what the dies look like for this one. So you have an outline of a couple of them, and then you have some more detailed, intricate overlays that can be used with them, and this pretty scalloped edging. So that is a really cool bundle as well. So you guys, I hope that you're not sad when this catalog comes out because your checkbooks or your pocketbooks aren't going to like you. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Hi, Dawn Reader. So these are the 3 prizes that are bundles. And then there's a color bundle with markers that I put together. And then a color bundle with the ink pads and all the re-inkers. So those are the 5 prizes. I'm gonna scoot these out of the way though, because I need to make room. So those are some of the prizes. I wanted you guys to see the ink colors too. Now I know these look very close, but there is some difference between the dark and the lighter of the greens. All right, so those are that. Now you're probably wondering what this guy is about. So I thought I'd give you guys a little heads up about what's happening this weekend for me and my team and other demonstrators. So this was a stamp set. So I'm signed up for something called On Tour. Stampin' Up! Does a conference twice a year. And unfortunately they're virtual, but fortunately they're virtual. It's like, you know, it's like bad, but it's good. I mean, we all want to be together in person, but at least we get to be together virtually. So Sandy, for game night, it was registering with payment by the last kit that sold out, which was this weekend. So it's Thursday night, and basically we're going to be making these 4 cards. So everybody got their card kits already. Oh, I didn't show you guys, I showed them really fast, but those are the 4 cards we're going to make. You just had to register. So I know that you needed a kit and that I had a goodie bag for you. So the registration is closed. How many people are signed up? I think about 32, Kathy. There's 32 people. So I'll ask you guys on Thursday night what we want to do. I know we're definitely capping prizes that you can't win more than 2, but maybe we want to cap it at 1 because they are higher dollar value. And if you win 1 prize, maybe we want to allow people to win just once. But you guys, that's for Thursday night. So Sandy, just so you know, there is another Stampin' Game Night set up for June 17th. And I know you guys can't read this, but it's June 17th. So back to this little guy here. So the Etched in Nature. By being a demonstrator, we could sign up for this 3-hour virtual event, which is this Saturday. And this is a stamp set, and we got the catalog, which I can show you the cover of. We got the catalog, and we got a pretty new stamp set from this catalog. And I can create from this week now and start working on this. So Kathy, I'm going to get feedback from everybody. I'm going to take the general consensus of the entire group and make sure everybody's good with that, because I love to share the love, you guys. I think if you know that, I love sharing prizes amongst more versus one person winning it all. So this one's a beauty that I can't wait to show you some cards that I'm making with it. So just the teacher in me is coming out now, guys, real quick. I got a little talking about stuff. I did publish my newsletter today. So let me flip up here. So I did publish my newsletter today. And if you receive emails from me, then you would have gotten it via email. If you're not in my email distribution group and you want to be, when I flip the camera down, then just find my email address and send me an email, ask to be in my email group. I will add you, no problem. If you follow my Cards by Christine business page, or if you're in my VIP group, or if you're part of the Stampin' Game Night, you would have seen a link for the newsletter as well. Share the love. Everybody's saying share the love. So the newsletter is published. There's so much information in there. Holy Moses. there's a lot going on, especially, hi Teresa Carls, hi Randy. There's a lot going on just because the annual catalog that's current is retiring by May 3rd. So all those products are while supplies last. The new catalog is becoming available May 4th. I published my schedule through August. So I generally publish a summer schedule or through the summer, and then I do a fall schedule, and then I do a spring schedule. So the schedule's out there. I did create the news or the scavenger hunt. So Jean Maxwell, if you're watching this sometime, you will see that I did the scavenger hunt. I always think of you when I do the scavenger hunt now. I think of other people too, but always Jean, because she's always the first one to ask for it. And then I also have an in color club that I'm hosting, which it's kind of hard to cater to people who aren't. This one's going to be hard to cater to people who aren't local because there's some 12 by 12 paper in there. So what I encourage everybody to do is read through the newsletter, look for the hidden question to be entered into the drawing, and then I've got my newsletter on the look through the newsletter. I've got the schedule, I've got the scavenger hunt, and the in colors on a budget. So let me flip down here. So this is what my schedule looks like, you guys. I know it's a lot. I do a lot. It's overwhelming. And I know it can be overwhelming for you as much as it is me, but I try to keep everybody on track. And I have it broken down by types of classes. So if you love the mystery nights, I've got all the dates for the mystery nights. Then if you're on my team, I've got a section for you if you like the games and prizes. And then I have the extras. On the front was my monthly class, my bundle suite class, my ink, paper, scissors. So that schedule's out there, you guys. I will be providing it with a copy of the annual catalog, which reminds me, guys, I have this spreadsheet. And it's a lot. I'm trying to manage all of this. And if you are a current customer to me, so if you're a demonstrator or a discount shopper, you'll get your own catalog in the mail. And if that happens, that's great. You guys watch your mailboxes for it. If you're a customer who's not a demonstrator and you won't be getting a catalog, that's where I want to make sure I get a catalog in your hands so that you have it. And so I may be reaching out to you if I'm uncertain. If you're a demonstrator or if you're going to potentially, if you shop from multiple demonstrators, I don't want you getting 4 catalogs in the mail or 3 catalogs in the mail and then you throw away 3 of them. So I try to be a little efficient or proactive on that, and please don't take offense if I ask you. I want to get a catalog in your hands, but I also don't want to duplicate efforts. So if you need a catalog and if you're not sure you're on the list and you're my customer, you've been buying products from me, just send me a quick note and you can just say, hey, I need a catalog from you, and you guys, I'll be happy to send one. I do have them on order. They should be arriving this week. I think either tomorrow or Wednesday, and one of the nights this week I'll get them all stamped, and I'll put a schedule in there, a wish list, a scavenger hunt, and I don't know what else. It'll have all that documentation in there. So yes, Barb, I have you on the list that you need one. Ellen is so dizzy. Do I ever sleep? Yes. I went to bed at midnight last night and I woke up at 7 and I got 7 solid hours of sleep and it felt amazing. So yes, I sleep and I got caught up this weekend. So, okay. So just a little note about the in color club. I'm going to flip down. I know it's going to be hard to read this, but what it is there's 5 new in colors. It's a 5-month club with 5 members. If I get 10 members, then I do 2 clubs. Basically, it's $50 per month and you get one of everything of the in colors. The reason that it's going to be hard for mailing, and maybe that's why I said if I have people who are interested in the mailing option, the one thing that's going to be hard is that the shimmer vellum comes in 12 by 12 sheets. That is oxy to mail. So Tony, send me a quick note, chrismbertram@msn.com. The post, you guys, I don't generally always go back and see comments in posts or in so I'm watching along with you guys. I see your comment, Tony. I'll try to remember, but if you email me, Facebook message me, text me, any other way too, just get it so I can say, yep, I got you on the list. So how this works is that if you want to do, so for porch pickup, it's pretty easy. You're just going to pick it up on my front porch, or not my front porch, but my mudroom counter in the honeycomb. And if you want to participate and you want it mailed to you, then it would probably be $8 priority shipping. And I may ask you if it's okay if I cut the 12 by 12 down into 6 by 6 sheets, because then it will fit into a priority flat rate envelope, padded envelope, whereas otherwise it might be $12 to ship it in a 12 by 12 box. That's the only thing I'm trying to think about. So if you aren't local to me and you are interested in being part of the In Color Club, then just reach out to me and we'll see once what we can make work. So I always like to accommodate as much as I can. So yes, Alan, I would cut it into 6 by 6 and then it will be no problem. I know some people don't like their 12 by 12 cut down in case they want to use a 4 by 3 section, or like, cause 12 by 12, you can get 4 and a 4 and a 4. And if you got it cut in half and half, then you don't get 12 squares or so out of a sheet. So anywho, that's the catalog. I just opened it up, but you guys couldn't see it. You could only see me. I'm so happy I had the camera on me. So, okay. Holy smokes, Christine, you are super busy. Yes, Brenda, I am. How I do it is I have lots of lists, all consolidated into 3 different books. So, okay. So Ellen, yeah, if you want to be in with the In Color Club, can you also send me an email or text me or somehow communicate so that I can reply back to it very easily? Okay, so that's a little bit about what's coming up. Catalogs, ink, paper, scissors, bow makers. I had a couple people reach out to me about bow makers. So Sharon, yours are going in the mail tomorrow, 3 of them. And then Cheryl, I have 1 that went in the mail for you today. So I have Leslie, yep, thanks for sending an email. That's awesome. I appreciate it. So where you guys can find information on the In Color Club, go to cardsbychrisb.com and go to the newsletter section. So there's at the top, there's blog and news. Click on news and then click on newsletters. And in the newsletter section, the top couple things will be my schedule, the scavenger hunt, and the In Color flyer. But you guys, I can't share pictures of product out of the catalog until May 4th when it goes live. So I only posted a picture of the different colors, but I have everything listed there so you know what would be included. And the month you're the hostess, you get the In Color gems. And I was gonna say, should I show them to you? You wanna see them, don't you? Hang on. They have some In Color, I'll flip down real quick. So these are the In Color gems. I just got these in my order form. So the month that you're the hostess, you'll get a $20 shopping spree to buy anything in the catalog. If you go over, you just pay the difference, and then you would get these as a free hostess gift from me. So those are the In Color gems that match the new In Colors. So, bow makers though. So if you guys need them, let me know. I went back to that one. I have 27 now. So if anybody's in the market for the bow maker, I'm stocked up and ready to go. Okay. Oh, thanks for sharing the link, Danny. I appreciate it. So Stacy said the scavenger hunt isn't a link. So that means I messed up. As soon as I'm done with the live tonight, I'm gonna make myself a note. So you guys, if you're trying to get the scavenger hunt, Stacy just said that it's not a link. So I'll have to go into my website and just make it a link. It's probably not finding the document. I probably didn't link them together. So I will fix it. So hi, Lisa Alperman. Okay, real quick too, you guys, I always love to share the Happy Mail. Oh, it's doing it. The videos, I'm moving too fast for my technology. So hang on, guys. It's happening. It happened the other day a lot. I don't know what day, Thursday, not a lot, twice. But I learned what to do to fix it. And I'm gonna make it happen with fixing it without redoing the video. I've learned to catch it right away. I've realized that it's quick movements by me, and that is how I roll. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Karen. Yes. So Luann just said, check my internet sources. I keep pausing. So Yep, I figured it out. So you guys, I got it right away. So my nose itches, sorry. So I move really fast, and I think that it doesn't like me when I do that. So you guys we'll work right through it, and we'll keep going. Okay, so this was a beautiful card that I got from Brenda Little. And Brenda, you're watching. This came in the mail today. You guys love the donkey. Here's this little guy from Woodland Wonder. Yes, I'm moving so quickly because I'm so excited about the new catalog. You got it. Hi, Elizabeth. Beautiful card, Brenda. And she put it on a little slip of paper here so that I can reuse this card. Awesome. I love it. And then this one is from Roxanne Kilburn. And she decorated the inside as well and gave me her lucky numbers for on Thursday, but a beautiful card. I love the simplicity of the green with the green, just this is called monochromatic when you stay within the different, like two colors. Love it, thank you. And then this one is Karen Wetstein, and she has here a matching envelope with the polka dotties here, and she used the Springtime Joy and made me a beautiful spring card, and didn't sign it either. On the inside, she gave me a little note that said, a little love note, and so I can use that one over. Kathy King, I love it. So this was a card from the ice cream class last month, and she put coffee on it, and she wrote me a love note on the inside. I love it. Thanks, Kathy. You're a doll. I love it. So there is a beautiful card from Kathy. And one more. Oh, Kathy also decorated her envelope to match, which is awesome. And then one more card, and this was from Sandy Hay. So this was the paper pumpkin, you guys, from, hi, Stacy Warner. This was the paper pumpkin from 2 months ago. I think it was February's paper pumpkin. So thank you for that. And she got a bow maker for me, so she also didn't sign it, so I can reuse it. I love it. So you guys, I love it when you don't write in the inside and put post notes, and I love it when you write on the inside. Either way, I love it. So I love it. So these were some love. I'm gonna try to move really slow now. Like slow motion. Okay, so are you guys ready? That was a lot of stuff. So we have, so do you know when the punch from the ice cream set goes off a back order? That's a good question, Stacy. I thought it was off of back order, but I could be wrong. I know that that Oval Occasions punch is off of back order. The sweet strawberry is still on back order, but if anybody that is watching who is a demonstrator has the ability to look up and let us know while we're watching tonight, we would appreciate it. I think that if it's on the same slow boat from China with the sweet strawberry, it had a date of April 11th. So it could be soon if it's not there. But I know that the Oval Occasions, where there's the two ovals, is there. So, hi Ruth. Okay, so we're at the Stamparatus 101 class. And I got to do roll call because I always got to do roll call for those people that are doing class with me. So Danny Olson, first and foremost, you were signed up way back in February. Leslie McMinn signed up right after you. Deanna Estelle then. Estelle did then as well. Ellen Brover, Mo Stites, Barb Barkow, Faye Godby, Kathy Beck, and Kelly Tedding. So Kelly, your kits got mailed on Friday, so you lucky girl. She told me they arrived today. So the mail system has been doing good for us for the most part. They have been kind and pushing our kits to you as quickly as possible. So, so you guys, that's a smaller crew for tonight. And I did have 11 people, I think, did this in person back in March. So Stamparatus 101. Hi, Carmen. Where did this all come from? So back in January, I hosted an event. Mo's here, woohoo! So, hi, Brenda. Yeah, if you watch it later, it might work better when you are catching the replay. So I hosted an event called the Winter Creative Escape. It was for demonstrators. Hi, Denise. It was for demonstrators, and I was in charge of the program, the entire program, and I asked demonstrators to do creative demonstrations, and I also asked demonstrators to do business demonstrations. And so one of the demonstrations that was done, hi Patricia Settle, one of the demonstrations that was done was in conjunction with my cousin Kelly. You guys know there's another face on my page. Her name is Kelly Lamb. She is my amazing cousin, and she's my marketing manager, and she helps me with my social media, and she does the Technique Thursdays, and she helps with a lot of the posts. And so we sat down together and we created the 3 cards that we're gonna make tonight. And she also then further demonstrated them at this event for demonstrators, because one of the things that came up from demonstrators was how to use the Stamparatus. And so this whole kind of thing came out, was like, well, if we made these beautiful cards, I'm going to use them as a class. So I never had this class on the books until we were done with the event. And I thought, oh, we might as well do this as a class. And so that's how this class came to be. And I try to incorporate the Stamparatus in my classes as much as I can, but I tend to forget about it from time to time. And so what I wanted to do with this class is to remind people that, hey, you bought a Stamparatus, take it out of the box and use it. Because how many times do you buy things and then you don't use them because you don't know how to use them? So I'm sure that the majority of people have seen a portion of the things that I'm going to share with you, but I thought that this would be perfect to do as a class, so that if somebody's new or just bought the Stamparatus, that I can refer them to this video, because this will always be in the video library for Cards by Christine, and it'll also be on my YouTube channel. So on my lunch hour, I made a little list of all the different things that you can use a Stamparatus for. And my goal is to get through this list today. And I'm not necessarily going to be showing you cards that feature all of the different things. I'm moving very slow. Did you see how I did that? It was like, not like cat-like, like Erin. So the 3 cards tonight will feature over half of the different techniques or different benefits of a Stamparatus. And you guys, I am sure that I may not cover absolutely everything either. So if there's something when we get to the end of this video and you are still watching and you think, oh, she didn't do this technique or benefit with the Stamparatus, throw it in the comments here so that people can see it, because that would be good that people are doing this class or wanting to watch about the Stamparatus, that they will hopefully see your comments while they're watching the video, and you can say, oh, you could also use it for this. So I'm not saying that what I have here is all inclusive of everything, but it was wrapping my brain around as much as I could. And I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to tell you that up front. So if you need to leave and come back, just know the replay will always be here. Just go to the certain section of the video and just start watching it from there. So Deb Norman, you rock star, you. She said that the ice cream bundle should be available April 19th, according to Stampin' Up's inventory status report. So I'm assuming that that is the same for the punch, because you can't get the bundle without the punch. So, okay. So I'm trying to wrap my head around. I know we have 3 cards to make. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, to respect the people that are doing the class with me, is I'm going to go through the 3 cards first, showing the techniques with those cards that, I don't want to call them techniques, but the different benefits of the Stamparatus with those 3 cards. And then I'm going to, on the tail end, say, we can also use it for this. We can also use it for this. So, Stacy, what that means is, if you were able to order the set, that the inventory should be replenished around April 19th, and then they will send you the punch as soon as it gets back into stock. So, hi Jean Maxwell. So I need a thumbs up. I'm curious how many people are watching that have a Stamparatus. I know Mary Jean just said she loves hers, but I want to see how many of you have Stamparatuses and are excited to learn about, or even if you're not excited, just how many of you have Stamparatus? Give me a heart or give me a love. How about a heart if you have one and you don't know necessarily how to use it, but give me, I don't know if I said that right, give me a thumbs up if you have one but you're uncertain, and give me a heart if you like it and love it and you are using it, but you want to know more. Okay, so I'm seeing lots of thumbs. Okay, perfect. So Karen just said she could order the ice cream punch, but the stamp set was back ordered until the 19th. Okay, so there's a little bit of information that maybe the stamp set was on back order. So, okay, so lots of people are watching. Hi, Donna, that want some information, okay, about the Stamparatus. So we're gonna start with one of the first cards. Okay, I'm seeing all this stuff, love coming through. You guys are awesome. You have Stamparatuses, you gotta use them. Okay, so you guys are gonna, by the time we're done here, you're gonna count and you're gonna see how many Stamparatuses I have. Oh yeah. So, okay. So the stamp set or bundle that we featured for the set of cards tonight. So this is one card. This is another card. And the third card. So there's 3 cards that we're gonna be making tonight. And they all feature, so Jean, you use yours all the time. I love it. So these are this is what I'm featuring tonight. It's called Kangaroo and Company, and it's not carrying over to the new annual catalog. So if you like the set or you're starting to love it and you can't live without it, then you want to make sure you get it. And so, wait. Before I even do this though, guys, hold up, wait a minute. Let's start and back up the roll here. I wanted to go through this with you really quick. So for those of you who don't have a Stamparatus, this is where it can be found, page 164 of the annual catalog. This little craft and carry Stamparatus bag is on the clearance rack or the last chance list for $11.60. So Kelly, my cousin, said she never knew she needed it until she brought her Stamparatus over here to use. And she didn't have a carrying bag for it. And this fits it perfectly. So this is the bag. This is the Stamparatus. So what does the Stamparatus consist of, right? So this is what I've got. The Stamparatus right here. It is a stamp positioning tool. Oop, and there's magnets. That's stuck to the bottom. The magnets are stored on the bottom. So it has here a spot to store the 2 magnets. Now you see on mine, I have some washi tape. This washi tape is loved and abused. The ends of it, I actually had tabs that were around it. So one of the things, yep, the bag is on sale. It is a good deal. So what I do with my magnets, just to help cushion the blow in case they get knocked against each other, washi tape works, but the Gorilla Tape works even better. So what you can do is put washi tape around like this, and you can create yourself a little tab with your washi tape so that they're easy to pick up. So there's a little tab on the end here. So when you go like that, then you can pick it up. Now what happens though is exactly what you see that happened to my washi tape is the tabs just get worn off. And so that's where Cheryl and Bonnie said to me, use Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape is industrial strength, the gray stuff. Duct tape. I was gonna say the thing that fixes everything. So if you use something like that, what that does is it gives you tabs to pick them up, but also if your magnets get brought together, so there's like some resistance here, but they do connect, and if they slam together, your fingers in the middle, it will hurt really bad, and it can also break your magnets if they clink together really fast. And one of mine, it has some broken magnets, and if your magnets break, it's not the end of the world. You don't even need to cry a little. What happens is you get 3 magnets then, because usually one will shatter and make 2 pieces, and then you'll have a full one and 2 pieces. So you'll have 3 pieces. So it's okay, you know, if your magnets break, it happens. Just know that you can get extra Stamparatus magnets, and I've gotten these, but I've not even opened them yet. They come in this awesome little container, and there's one, and I think that there's probably, you guys, I haven't even opened this up. What is it? Stamp 2 magnets. So I wonder, they're in a really protective, cushiony foam thing. I'm not gonna try to break my nail doing that. So I'm gonna grab my glue scissors and see if I can pop that out of here. This might not be a good idea. Oh, there they are. Okay, I wasn't sure if there were 2 in there or 1, but there are 2 magnets in here, and they're very strong, and they're held together. There's something in the middle there. They are, they're strong. So just know that you can get yourself extra magnets. Now, I can't recall, I'm thinking that you can get extra magnets in the new catalog. They are strong, Mo. Yes, you want to be very careful not to get your fingers in the middle. So then one of the other things that is an extra accessory item here is a Stamparatus Deluxe foam mat. And so that looks like this right here. So the foam mat is foam on one side, and then it has this waxy, you know, like plasticky. So if you get ink on it, it can wash right off with water or wet wipe. And it's like a grid paper, so you can position your paper where you want it to. So the deluxe foam mat is $6. You can get it as an extra add-on item. There's a Stamparatus foam mat that looks like this. It's just the actual foam mat. It's on sale for $1.80. It's going away. You're not going to be able to get this $3 or $1.80 one in the new catalog. This works great too, guys. If you don't want to get a piercing mat for stamping on for your photopolymer stamps, you could buy this for $1.80 and use this as your bottom layer for stamping. So that's the Stamparatus foam mat. The other thing that you can get as an accessory for the Stamparatus is the grid paper. So you buy this grid paper, and it's paper that fits inside the Stamparatus, and you'll see that in a couple of them that I am using the grid paper. It's centimeters on one side and inches on the other side. And I think there's 50 sheets in here. So these are just some of the things you can get as accessories. It comes with two clear plates with 4 sides is what I was getting at. And so you can set it up with a stamp on this side, this side, this side, and this side. So if you're stamping 4 things, you can have it all set up so that it's consistent, easy stamping. Now, there's one thing that is not Stampin' Up related, but Jean Maxwell shared this tip with me, and I thought I would share it with you guys too. This is something that when you put the paper down, you really got to use the magnets good, and sometimes your paper will still pull up. So Jean referred some paper to me. It's not paper, sorry, it's not paper. She referred some of this. I'm not trying to promote other stuff, and I actually honestly have no idea. It's called Nicara, and it's just a silhouette portrait. It's just like this stuff right here, like this plastic stuff that used to come with the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. But what happens is it's sticky. So what happens is it doesn't hurt your paper, and you can put your paper down where you want it. It'll help stick, and then put your magnets. So when you go to stamp, your paper will stick instead of lifting up, and your paper will pull right off of it. So I used a really thin Post-it note for that. But what happens is it just provides a little extra stick. So if anybody is interested in that, just message me privately and I can share that link, but it's not a Stampin' Up item. It's just something that is through Amazon. So it's just an extra thing that's helpful with the Stamparatus. So now that you guys saw the Stamparatus, you know where it is in the catalog. You can see the accessories. Now we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay. So, what is it called? That is a really good question. I honestly can't remember right now, Latokia. If Jean Maxwell, she is watching. Jean, if you don't mind sharing the link in here on Amazon, the Amazon link to get it. I did have to cut mine down. It was super long and a lot wider, and I just took my kitchen shears. No, I didn't take my kitchen shears. I took scissors, and I just cut it to fit in there. So, it's called Nicapa, Nicapa is the brand, but honestly, I don't even know. So if Jean, if you're watching, and she can throw the link on Amazon, or what you guys can do is just individually email me, and I can copy and paste it into the email for you so you guys can see it. So, all right, so back to business. Okay, so one of the main things that the Stamparatus is good for is consistent stamping. Just always stamping the same thing over and over consistently. So if somebody has shakier hands and you don't like to hold the stamp and stamp it because your hand might shake just a little bit. The Stamparatus will truly be good for you because let's just get back the Stamparatus and I'll show you. What happens is you will put, let's get this guy out of here. So this is one of the perks. If your hands aren't strong or if they're shaky, what you can do is you can line the stamp up on the platform. So on the, so this is like the platform and this is a plate. And you would then put your paper where you want it. And so I always set it up with the grid lines. So I like to work in this corner right here. So where the Stampin' Up! Logo is, that's the corner I like to work in. And I'm gonna tell you that because when you're, Brenda, what is the sticky pad? Yo guys, I don't, like, it's something weird. The name is something that you would never think that that sticky thing is called. So I honestly can't remember what it's called. So if you wanna know what that sticky page was, just send me an email and I'll just, when I see your email come through, I'll copy the link and paste it right in the email for you. So I work in this corner right here the most because where these hinges are on the side, so these are the hinge sides or the sides, I call these the sides. If you put your stamp really close to these edge, like up there, you have to press really hard because this ridge here and this ridge here are just slightly high. They're just a little too, I don't know if there's too high, but I adapted. So I don't try to go here because then you gotta press really hard right there. So what I have gotten used to is working in this corner right here. My home base is always this. A tack cutting mat. There you go, Stacy. Good job. Thank you. A tack cutting mat. Okay, so what I do is I work in this bottom corner and I will make sure that, so then if you put the stamp here, now you stick it on to your plate and then you ink it up and you stamp. Get your next sheet and then you can ink it up and stamp. So you don't have to hold the stamp, and by using it out here, you just go like this, a little bit of pressure here and you'll get a nice image. Now, if you're stamping it up, another great thing is, so that will help you with not having to hold a stamp or being potentially shaky when you're stamping. But the other thing is if you didn't ink it up very good. So right here, if I didn't ink this up, and as long as my paper doesn't move, I can repeat the stamping to make the image darker. Hi, Elaine Rebeck. So I'm gonna move this stamp set out of the way, and I'm gonna show you an example with Memento ink. Memento ink for me is difficult because I feel like I can never keep my ink pad just crisp and juicy. It's really weird. So what I will do, so one of the things I always like to do is I like to work with a flat surface like this. So I put a stamp set underneath here, or an ink pad underneath here, or I'll put a block here like that. Cricut, so I'm just reading Brenda's comment really quick. I would also say if anyone has a Cricut, you could use an older cutting mat as they are tacky too. Yep, that works. Okay, I'm trying not to move very fast. So I like for this to be as even as possible. So a stamp pad works perfectly. And so what I'll do is, hi Ethel, I'll grab my magnets like this and I'll line up my corner right here. So this is just a little bit of show and tell. So I put my magnets there. I don't try to pick up my magnets like this. What I'll do is I'll always slide them off. By sliding them off, it allows them to come off easier. If you try to pick them up, they're so strong that you may break your nail. So I don't recommend trying to pick them up. That's where if they had the little tab like that, it picked up, but I could feel the washi tape pulling. And so that's why the washi tape is not as strong as the Gorilla tape. But so here's another. So we've got just, so if you have weaker, shakier hands, this allows you to just get it stamped without having to hold on to anything. Then what happens too, if you go to stamp it and let's say your ink pad isn't the most juicy or you miss inking it in a certain spot. Victoria made it, good girl. Hi, Judy Bobo. So I inked that up. Now, if you can see, it looks okay. It's dark. You can see that it stamped it up. Now, as long as my paper doesn't move, then I can, yep, Sandy, they have the magnets in the catalog yet. They're $12 for a set. So as long as the paper doesn't move, you can re-ink it and push right back down on here. Yep, so perfect. I'll explain that, Mo. Good question. Oh, Jean Maxwell just put the link on, guys. That is not spam. This is Jean Maxwell. She's my girl. She is the one that told me about it, and she just posted the link for it, guys. So that is an actual link to Amazon. It's not spam, so it should take you to Amazon. So now what happened is by repeating that, it made it darker. And I think you guys can see the difference in the video that looks dark. Now, if you need to, you can do it again. So you would just re-ink it and you could go a third time. Now you can continue to do this until you get the image that you want at whatever darkness or just filling in a certain spot. So it's just is gonna continue to get darker and darker. Now, if the paper moves on you, you might get the shadowy thing going on. So then you might have to start over. The main thing is you do not want this paper to move on you. Okay, so Mo just asked a question about the layers. So right now, this is the bottom layer. There's nothing here. There's no foam mat. So a little lesson about red rubber stamps is you can see there's foam here. So that foam is the reason why you don't use the foam mat here. If you're using, so I'm gonna slide these off. You guys, you do not want to set these down on the table next to each other. They will clink and they will crack. So if you're not using the magnets, I highly encourage you to put them right back in their home. So Mo was asking about the foam mat and when to use it and not to use it. So this is no foam, because the foam is right here. And in the Stamparatus, you get this foam mat. It's not the deluxe foam mat, it's the regular foam mat. And when you are using photopolymer stamps, like, let's see, where do I have a photo? Oh, these guys. These guys. These are photopolymer. Photopolymer do not have red rubber on them. I'm sorry, they don't have foam on them. They are just the stamp. So when you're using photopolymer stamps is when you need to pull in this foam sheet. Now the thing with the foam sheet is it's loosey-goosey in here. And if you're not wanting your paper, so you're guessing where your paper is gonna go. And this is where you're gonna want to tape down. So Faye just said the magnet box makes a great pressure tool with the stampers instead of fingers. Oh, very good, yep. So the thing with this foam mat though is it's loose here. And if you're putting your paper on here and you think that it's not gonna move because of the magnets, well, this could still move on you slightly. I mean, the magnets are holding it down, but I feel like, so let's clean this really quick. So one of the best things that you can have to accompany your Stamparatus is the chamois, because you can take it and you can clean your stamps really nicely with it. One thing with baby wipes, if you use baby wipes to clean this, eventually baby wipes start to dry and they leave little filaments all over. And with this, they don't leave filaments all over. So Kathy, if your magnets go together, so I'm gonna try to get them. Okay, so they went to, you saw that? I tried to move my fingers. If your magnets go like this together and you're having a hard time getting them apart, slide them. You're gonna have to slide them apart and hold them strongly apart. you do not want your fingers in the middle of them. Hi, Mary Carls. So you don't want, if they go together, that's exactly what you do. You just, if you don't have strong hands, you might have to ask somebody to help you because they are very, very strong. You have to be very careful not to get your fingers in them. So this is in itself a magnetic plate. So the thing though with photopolymer is those stamps are kind of sticky. And when we get to this card right here, I'm going to show you another trick with the photopolymer. Okay, so I hope, Mo, that answers your question about you use the foam mat when you're using photopolymer. Now, if you end up getting the deluxe foam mat, the deluxe foam mat is the same size and that fits in here the same way as this one, except for what happens is the deluxe foam mat has the grid lines on it. So it really helps you to position your paper where you want it. Thanks for sharing, Mary. Okay, so we talked about Stamparatus as being great if you have weak or shaky hands. It will help so that you don't have to hold the stamp and get it to go exactly where you want. You can lay your stamp where you want it to go and then pick it up with the plate and then stamp it. Oh, you're welcome, Mo. Then the other was to consistently stamp in the same spot to darken it. So that's two things right there that just, if you don't use it for anything else, but just to help you with your stamping, that will help you stamp nicer and easier, more efficiently. Okay, so let's move this and this. We're gonna start with our first card and I'm gonna explain another little tip with what you can use it for. So this is the card we're gonna start with. And this one is, we did splattering here. I'm gonna teach you guys a technique. I'm trying not to move very fast. But if I do, I know I can see it in my video and I can catch it right away. So we need these couple things here. So in your card kits, what you guys got, you got a piece of Whisper White. So I've done a little bit of my stamping ahead and my coloring ahead, but your Whisper White is 8.5 by 5.5. It is scored at 4 1/4. So you're just gonna take that and flip it so that your corners meet. Grab your bone folder and burnish your edges. Yes, Mo, you got it exactly. You wanna slide your magnets apart, but as you're sliding them apart, hang on to them and with your fingers not behind them, hang on to them and pull them apart like that. So for those that are doing this card, we've got a technique here that I actually did splattering on here. So I'm gonna teach you how to do that splattering. It's using a Stella pen. You also got this piece of designer paper that is actually, it's bigger than what it needs to be. Some of you got lines and some of you are gonna get like polka dots, and I left them bigger in case you got the lines so that you can cut off where you want your lines. So in case, I didn't want to cut it for you and then it be a big white gap and then it to be a line cut halfway off here. So you will have to cut your piece here down to the size of 5.5, and then you have a piece of coral that is 3/4 by 5.5, and you're just gonna glue your coral onto here. So that's just prepping a little bit for you guys for this card that you're doing that with me. Now, with this one, there is a kangaroo on here, the mama and a baby Joey. And the other thing that works great, so this is what we did in class. I had die cut all of these pieces. So for you guys that got the kits with me, you already have a kangaroo cut out like this, but I also gave you a piece of white paper in case you want to stamp yours and then die cut it. But this is one of the tricks. So when you have to make 10 cards or 5 cards or 100 cards, honestly, whenever you have to make a lot of cards, what you can do is die cut all of your white pieces. So die cut 10 pieces and get them as close as you can together so you're not wasting a lot of paper. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a template just like this. So for when I had this as an in-person class, these are photopolymer stamps. So, all right, Danny, we'll see you later. get some good rest tonight. So on this one, I have it set up with the foam mat here. I put a piece of grid paper because I just got that deluxe foam mat. It actually came last week, so I didn't even have it till last week. But you guys see, I rigged up my machine here to hold everything down. I went crazy on my washi tape to hold it down because I just didn't want it with having 11 people in class. I didn't want this moving all around. So what you can do is you can die cut a whole bunch of white pieces and you just lay them in the template here. And then you're going to ink up the kangaroo and it should fit right in there. And so this is one of the benefits of having a Stamparatus is now you just die cut a whole bunch of your white shapes that you need and you ink up your image and then you flip it over. Now move that card. And now you can see how I positioned my stamps in this lower corner over here. Well, so this is my bottom left corner is how I look at that. And now you just press on here. And now with the photopolymer stamps, they're sticky. So you have to be very careful when you pull this up. Your image will either flop off or it will be stuck to it. But what happens then is then you can put your white page or piece of your cutout die cut into this template, and then now I put the next one in there and ink it up, stamp it, grab it out, put the next one. So you can spend a lot less time just repeatedly, like repetitive stamping, because you've done a little bit of die cutting. So what would happen otherwise is you would stamp this, you'd go to your Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine or whatever die cutting machine you have, and you would have to put the die around and potentially use tape, and you are trying not to die cut it bad, and sometimes it wiggles on you. And so this way you've just cut out a whole bunch of white pieces of whatever shape it is, and now you're just going to put them in your template and stamp. So what foam comes with the Stamparatus? So the foam that comes with the Stamparatus is the foam mat that looks like this. It has a little Stampin' Up logo in the corner here, and it's just a thin foam mat. It's not the deluxe foam mat. The deluxe foam mat has, like, it looks like grid paper on the top. Okay, so in class then, what we did is everybody had their little Joey, and you guys also have ribbon in your kit, so we'll work on that in a little second here, or a second. I did by the magic of TV. I've already colored my Rue, so she's ready to go. And I've colored my little Joey. And we have this little guy here that it's your day. You can, I don't know if we did that. I think we just glued him in there. So this is, what I've called this is repeat stamping. So die cutting a whole bunch of white shapes and then making yourself a template and then filling them in. So I know there's a bunch of demonstrators out there that make swap cards. So that is something that is very efficient for if you're making swap cards. If you're a demonstrator too and you are holding classes, what you could do to eliminate a lot of people having to go stand and wait for a cutting machine, you could, like I did for this class, is I die cut all the pieces, gave everybody their pieces, and then what happened was the Stamparatus went around the room. So this went around the room in a circle, and then nobody had to get up and do die cutting because everything was die cut. I'll cut some extra little squares too, or not squares. I'll cut some extra little shapes if I need to in case somebody does mess up. So that is, oh my goodness, this thing has got to go over there. So that is what I call repetitive stamping. Hi Dee. Okay, so that was what was featured in this card. So now we are going to work on putting this card together because that was what was featured here. Not much crazy on that one. So I want to show you guys though really quickly how I did the spattering. So I would recommend grabbing yourself a scratch paper. We'll grab this one. And so you guys, this is a little technique. I know it's not Stamparatus related, but it was part of this card, which is part of this class. And it's in Calypso Coral. And I know Kelly, my cousin Kelly, hates squishing her ink into the cover. So what you can do is you can use a block and dip your block into the ink pad, and then grab your Stella pen. And you want to make sure the barrel has a bunch of Stella in it. If not, just squeeze it a little bit. And you can see there's splattering all over the side of that card right there. So before I put anything down, what I'm going to do is dip into here. Be careful, guys, if you do this at home. You don't have to do the splattering, but if you do, be careful because it goes everywhere. So I take something that's hard to hold, and then I just go like, now if you don't have enough Stella in there, just go back and get more, and it needs to be a little bit runny for her to to give you some good color. But all I'm doing, hi Sherry Holly, I'm just splattering this. And I know it's hard to see that until you get close up, but there are little orange splatters on there. You can keep doing this until you get as much as you want. And trust me, it's going all over my phone right now. Okay, so that's what you can do with your Stella pen. It's just a little technique with your Stella pen. There, you guys can see all along the side here. I've got that. So when you're done, make sure to wipe out your Stella pen because that orange or that coral or whatever will get all over the place. So you just wipe it out and then the color comes out of the tip. So that was how I got that splattering. Then what you guys will do for this one, it dries pretty instantly. That will just get glued. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. We're gonna just glue that on here. Now for you guys at home that have your kits, you're gonna have to trim your designer paper down slightly and then attach your coral piece to it and then adhere it on the card base, just like this. Okay. So by the magic of TV, I do have mine colored, but what I use to color the roux, just so you guys know, for all of these cards, I use the dark crumb cake for the mama, and there's light crumb cake. If you want to color her inner underbelly here, you could color that with the light crumb cake. Hi, Linda Zaleski. You could also, I have flirty flamingo in her ear, and then I have bronze on her nose. And for the baby roux, I use bronze, and his nose, I just did a double coat for his nose. So what we've got for the string, this is the white crinkle ribbon, and we're just gonna grab a little bit of tear and tape, and I'm gonna put a line of it right where my kangaroo is gonna be, and then I'm just gonna weave that crinkle ribbon back and forth. So I know we deviated a little bit from Stamparatus, but just hang tight because this was part of the card class, was making the card as well. So once I've got the tear and tape down, then I'm just gonna weave my ribbon kind of back and forth here. It might be a little long, so you'll just have to trim your ends, that's okay. And then for the baby roux, so your mama kangaroo has a pouch here, and the baby fits in there, just like that. And so grab a dimensional, and you can secure the baby roux by putting dimensionals right there. So, and then I'm also gonna put one behind him here, so that he's kind of popping out of her pouch. And add a couple more dimensionals behind her. That's what's nice about these little baby dimensionals, is they can go in the smallest little spots. You don't have to cut them down to make them smaller. So after you've got that ribbon down and secured, hi Kathy Wilsnack, I hope you're doing okay after your fall. I saw those pictures on Facebook and you did not look so good with your eyes. I hope that you're healing nicely. So the little guy's gonna go here. Now, if you want to stamp a sentiment, you could stamp it there. And then if your ribbon is just a little too long, trim it slightly. But that's how I secured. I know in class, a bunch of people were trying to attach the ribbon to the kangaroo, and it was really hard to do that. So I just put a little tape right here, attached that ribbon back and forth, and you can even just trim it a little bit more if you want. You do have to, hi Susie Snow, you do have to be careful because that might not be dry. So you want to give your splattering time to dry, otherwise it might smear. So the Hello Baby comes from this set actually right here. So I think I will use that real quick. So if you guys have the kangaroo set, let's grab, so this is where wet wipes come in really handy. I don't generally use wet wipes, but for my block here, that's what I'm gonna use to clean off the ink on the block. And as long as I can, real quick, we're just gonna finish this card and we're gonna make it a baby card. So what's awesome about the photopolymer stamps is you can see right where you're stamping, and that is a baby card. So this guy wasn't so crazy. He was pretty easy. And the other thing that you guys have in your kits at home, for those that are doing the class with me, is you have some champagne rhinestones in the 3 different sizes. So there's a large, a medium, and a small. And you can just pop them on your card wherever you would like them. So this one wasn't so crazy. This was supposed to introduce us to using the Stamparatus and how it is beneficial to die cut out a bunch of pieces and then do repetitive stamping. Hi, Judy Krieger. Woohoo! Okay, so we've covered a couple things so far. So we're done with him. We don't need him. We're done with the baby. So we got one card done for class. And now we're going to talk about another benefit for the Stamparatus. So, all right. Hinged step stamping. That's second on my list here. So we're going to move to the next card that we are going to use for hinged stepping. So that card is right here. So you guys, this is going to be the card kit that's the white with the pool party. And, oh, it's so pretty, isn't it? So that pattern play, so we tried to, what we did with the Stamparatus class is we tried to use a mini catalog product, coupling it with something from the annual catalog. So we featured the pattern play. So in this kit right here, this is using the pattern play stamp set, which is retiring. We wanted to grab these lines out of here. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using from here. I'm pulling in Pool Party ink, and we're going to be making this card right here, which features the hinge step technique. Now, this one was awesome as well because in class, what I did is I gave people the die cut pieces. So again, if you're a demonstrator or discount shopper who gets together with friends and likes to have pieces and stuff prepped for the kits, you could die cut these out, and then you go to your Stamparatus, which we had just used over here. Let's get this stuff out of the way. So this is where now we could do that same technique of, and I'll do it just to show you guys again how easy this is. So we're gonna put the kangaroo into the little slot there, and then you ink it up. And you just press. Now, remember I said I try to stay as far away from this corner as I possibly can. So I like to work in this corner down here. Okay, so there's the kangaroo. And see, that time, the kangaroo stuck to there. One thing with photopolymer stamps is they are super sticky. So when you grab that, just pull it off of there. And so that will stamp the kangaroo. And then I also have it set up so that we can do the heart. So I can show you another thing. So this is what's gonna make your chamois get really full of ink. Okay, so we've got that cleaned up. Now you can take this. So one of the things too, you guys, when you're using your plates, the only time you can ever pull them out of the Stamparatus is when they're 90 degrees. You can't pull them out this way. You can't pull them out. They've got to be straight up and down. And then what you can do is you can flip it. So now I have the little hearts set up. So as long as my paper hasn't moved, I should be able to put my hearts in here. So the reason that I set the Stamparatus up with the kangaroo on this side and the hearts on this side is because I did not want people in class cross-contaminating ink. So if you're doing a stamping session and you also don't want to cross-contaminate ink, what you can do is I had set up the 2 brown images on the one side, and then I set up the red image on this side so I don't accidentally switch my colors. And so when you ink this up, you just put a little ink on there, and now that will go right where the hearts are. You can see here that I've got red ink right here. That's on the platform. You want to be careful with that, not to get it on your image, but there. So I've got that set up so that it was really easy to stamp my hearts. Okay, so we're just gonna use our chamois again to clean this up. I had mentioned that that is good because it doesn't leave little white filaments all over. I don't know if they're called filaments, but fibers. They're called fibers. Okay, so I think I'm good with this guy for a while. So we're gonna set this off to the side. And we're done with the brown and the red ink. Now we're gonna go to our hinge. So in class I had a few Stamparatuses going around the room. So this guy I have set up with that stamp from Pattern Play. It's photopolymer as well. So I have this set up with the foam underneath, and I put a piece of my grid paper, and then I secured it all over the place with tape. So I didn't want this moving around on me. So I've got my magnets. I generally don't store my magnets on the top. I promise I don't. I think I just had them out from class yet and I just put them away right like that, and I'm happy they didn't knicker together. So I have here this piece of Pool Party, and so I've got it set up with the bottom corner here. So this is where the paper is going to go, and I generally look and I'm like, okay, well there's the one. I think this is exactly how I had it set up, was right here. So the one magnet's gonna go here, and the other magnet's gonna go near the top. Now this is called the hinge technique, hinge step. So you can see there's notches on the top, there's notches on the side. And so what happens is you'll be able to ink it up and stamp. And then you go down 1 inch, ink up, stamp. Ink it up, and you keep stepping your way down. So that's how people are getting those lines consistently stamped straight, equidistant. Pennants, P-E-N-N-A-N-T, it's pennants, like party pennants that go like this. Those work really cool too because you can get them consistently stamped looking like they're going like that. So let's get some of this stuff out of the way so that we can do this. I'm gonna grab an ink pad to put down here because I like, the ink pads are about the same height as this base right here. So we're gonna start this back here. So you are gonna have to know that you're gonna have to move your magnets as you go. Bottom one can stay, but I'm gonna just test this one right here to see where he ends up. And he's gonna end up perfect. Okay, so we're starting it at home base with all the notches lining up. And I've got Pool Party here. So I'm gonna ink up my stripes or my lines with the Pool Party and ink. So I'm just gonna run this back and forth. The photopolymer stamps are super cool because you can see the ink transfer to the paper. Now you have to be careful because photopolymer stamps are sticky. So you can see as I'm lifting this up, my paper was stuck to it. So I went very slow and I kind of wiggled it. So there's the one. And now you're gonna skip down and do the second one. You're gonna keep your magnets where you have them until you need to move them because you don't wanna be stamping over the top of your magnets, but right here I'm still good. So just roll over that, and now again, be careful as you pick this up, not that it comes up on you. Now this is where I'm gonna move a magnet up to the top here, and I'm gonna move down 1 step, ink this up. Again, and just roll your fingers over it, putting pressure. Now, this works great if you don't get it inked good. You can always just ink up again. Sometimes too, it might be that you didn't press hard enough in one spot and the ink is still on your stamp. Then you can go and just put it right back down. So we're gonna step down, and now we gotta move our magnet so it's out of the way. And we're gonna do this one more time here. Roll your hands over it. If you're a person that likes to stand up while you stamp, this is good to do standing up too because you can get really good pressure. That just popped off really nice. Then we're gonna move that guy up. Move down one more time here. Ink her up. I think that we're gonna fit one more on the bottom. One more step. We're gonna see once what happens. Like that. Oh yeah, perfect. So that's the hinge step technique. Okay, so move my magnets away from each other. Close up the ink pad and grab your chamois over here. And then we can clean this right away. So lots of different things. Your minds are hopefully spinning, thinking of stamps that you own that you can utilize this hinge step technique. So this then, oh, you saw that? They went together. And we're gonna just put them back on the bottom. And that's it for the Stamparatus. So we're gonna move him out of the way and come back to our card now. So we're gonna work on putting this together. So we're gonna cover another way to use the Stamparatus in the next one, in the next card. So we're just gonna put this guy together so you guys can still work on the card here for class. So you've got your same thick Whisper White card base. So both of these cards use the thick Whisper White. I don't ever use regular Whisper White. It is actually Whisper White because I still have some, but it's basic white these days. But I always use a thick cardstock. It just makes for a meatier card. So now this is where you can figure out where you're gonna, if you want, which end you want up and which end you want down. I'm gonna put this side so it's facing down. There's no reason why you can't put this down already and get it glued. If I were you though, I would have stamped my inside first. If you stamp your inside first, so this was actually a Valentine's Day card, I would highly recommend stamping your inside first, because if you don't like the way you stamp your either sentiment or your focal image down there, you can always fold it inside out. Now the bad stamping is on the top, which you're gonna cover up. But this girl's got glue everywhere, so I'm going with it, and I'm just gonna make sure I don't mess up my inside. So this gets put on the top, but so when you're stamping on a card base, you have a big piece of mat, like a mat that goes on the top, you still get a second chance, provided you don't glue your mat down before you stamp your inside. Okay, so this heart comes from a die set that is, I think, retiring as well. It's called Be Mine Stitched Framelets. So there's a really cool heart in here, you guys. These are cool dies, and I don't remember. I try to remember everything, but I don't always, and I can't remember if these are carrying over or not. I don't want to even guess because I don't remember. But super cool little scallopy edge here, and then this really pretty dainty heart and a bunch of hearts there. Make good for shaker cards, and then lots of layering hearts. So if somebody's watching that knows, you can always let us know so we know if it's carrying over or not. But it's called Be Mine Stitched Framelets. So that's where this heart came from, and the color is Melon Mambo. And then in your kit you also have this pool party sheer ribbon. You guys, we used this on Thursday night with one of the art cards. Yes, Marsha, the new basic white comes in thick basic white. Yes, absolutely. You have vanilla in thick and regular, and you have the white in thick and regular, both. Okay, so you guys have your kangaroo here, and you also have the heart. And let's see, I think I just glued those hearts, are just glued in. So you have a little strip like this that we use. I banner punched the end for you. So it's called Sending You a Paper Hug for Your Sentiment. That is from Comfort and Hope. This is retiring. I'm pretty sure it is, about 99% sure it's retiring. So Sending You a Paper Hug, that's where this comes from. This is also where I started off showing you guys the Stamparatus. That's where I pulled this stamp from. So just stamp a little sentiment in espresso or a dark brown. That's what I did. And then we've got your hearts here. Now, I can't remember in your kits, guys. I made your kits like 2 or 3 weeks ago already. So did I include a little guy like this in your kit? I want to say I did, but sometimes I second guess myself. So whoever's doing the class with me tonight, if you're watching, did you get this little piece in your kit? I can't remember. What that is, I apologize if I didn't. If I did, what that is, there's a die in here that is like, it looks like a horn, kinda. And there's all these little baby words in here that say, love you much, just for you, it's your day, hello, just a note. All those little fit on there. All those little words fit on there. And then what happens is you can pull that out like that. And and it fits in there like that. So I'm second guessing myself if I actually sent that in your kits or not. So you guys will have to tell me. So I have one here and it says, it's your day. I think that was from the other kit. So we're going to actually do one that is in Melon Mambo. And we're gonna make it say, love you much, just so that it matches the card. And I'm buying you guys time to tell me if I included it or not. Karen, Mary's sister. Okay. Heidi said Karen, Mary's sister. I'm not sure what you mean, Heidi. All right, so we're going to grab the Melon Mambo ink. I'm trying. Yes, you have the little piece, Faye. Awesome. Okay, so that little piece, I'm going to show you guys how I put it together. So I'm going to use Melon Mambo. And this is where that foam mat, so that you guys, this is like $1.80. And if you get that, you can use it for the mat for underneath when you use photopolymer stamps. So when you stamp this, you don't want to be so close that, where's my little piece here? You don't want to be so close because your heart needs to attach on there. So you're going to have to stamp this a little bit underneath that. So right there. Oh, Deanne's got the little piece too. Okay, so I'm so happy I remembered it. I surprise myself sometimes. Okay. So we have the love you much there. Now the little hearts here, I think that I already have them done. So these were stamped in red and I colored them with the Flirty Flamingo blend. So that's the blend I used to color them. And by the magic of TV, they're done already. Okay, so that's gonna get glued onto here. So you can use liquid glue. You could use a little glue dot. Glue dots kind of are wiggly to me. So I like to use the liquid glue on here, and we're just gonna glue that so it's nice and secure. If you don't put too much on, because otherwise it'll ooze all over the place, kind of like what just happened there, but I fixed it. So you're attaching the love you much little guy to the hearts, like that. Scrap paper right there at its finest. All right, then you got your kangaroo, and you have a heart. Now you're wondering about the pool party sheer ribbon along the side and how I did that. So grab your tear and tape or your double-sided tape. Honestly, either one will work. And what you're gonna do is prep the side with tear and tape. And that's gonna help us secure the pool party. So this is my cousin Kelly. You guys, I use ribbon the same way over and over again. I like just to wrap ribbon around and make a bow. That's what I do. But Kelly's like, let's do something different. And so this was her brainchild right here. So we are prepping, just putting a little tear and tape all along the side. And what you're doing is gonna weave this, start with your end right at the top here. And you're just gonna create this little ruffle. You don't wanna have it go too far in because you don't wanna waste it. Remember, you don't see what's behind there. So this was her little brainchild. So I'm just weaving it back and forth and creating this little frill on the side. And I was so excited when she was done doing hers that I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. And you're just, the sheer ribbon, this works really good with the sheer ribbon. You might end up with extra, and if you don't like it, you can just pull it off just like that, and you can redo it. I was just showing you that. If you don't like the way it is, then just redo it. But it's so cool, you guys. It's so fun stamping with somebody else. It really helps you create in a different way than what you're used to. So this was my first class I had designed with somebody else in a long time. And it was so fun to get a different perspective on how to do something. So I'm just weaving this back and forth until I get way down to the bottom, and that's gonna be my last one right there. And then now what you can do, just trim off your tail if you have any extra. Some people in class used a little bit more ribbon and they needed a little more, but I hope I gave everybody enough. Then what I'm going to do is grab the tear and tape, and I'm going to secure this over the top of it. But I'm not going to take it off. I'm just treating it like it's single-sided tape now. This heart gets popped up with dimensionals, and I might as well use up some of these because I love throwing paper like this away. So I'm not going to tear off that waxy paper over here. Yeah, Kelly did. This is Kelly's. So you guys, if you ever reach out to Kelly for anything, you can tell her, I love what you did with the ribbon. So just know that's something totally different. And I'm not putting any dimensional over here because it will not stick over the top of the washi tape, over the top of that waxy paper. So there is enough extra cushion right there, so it shouldn't go flat right there. So just pick all that off and then go back to your, hi Sue Wagner, go back to your card here, and I'm putting that over to the edge a little bit because my kangaroo's got to fit over here. And remember, don't press it down really hard because then if you like, you can pull it up and move it. But our kangaroo then, so this goes in here like that. Now when you pop the kangaroo up, you can, so I did pop up here and here. I generally wouldn't pop her head up, but I felt like I wanted her popping out a little bit more. In this case, I popped up her over here and her body. But on this one, I'm going to do her head flat and just pop up the part that's off the heart. And I'll show you here. So I'm going to put just underneath her tail. I'm going to put on her bottom and her back here. So that's the part that's hanging off the heart. And then I'm going to put liquid glue where her head is. But if you wanted her head popped up as well, you could. It would just be a little bit more popped up than what I'm doing. So a little bit of glue behind her here. Come on, get out of there. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so just a little glue. You don't want to put any glue where this little hanging down thing is, right here. And, oh, hang on, wait for it. Wait. This is all got to happen at the same time. We got to sneak this guy in here. So that's going to go right about there. So wait for it. We're going to find a little dimensional and put that back here. So that's where we want it. And then we're going to put a little liquid glue here. Don't worry about this end because it's going to get covered up by the roux. And now I think we should be good. She's down. And then this is going to be able to pop in and out. Our head's secure. There you go. So the other thing that you guys have in your kits, you have these resin hearts. There's 3 resin hearts that are white that you guys can put on your card. If I have to get up for anything else tonight, I'll go grab them, but I have mine sitting on the other side of the room, and I'm afraid if I move, I'll disrupt my camera up here. So pretty much that was the hinged step technique, and then also using white pieces for the inside. Look at this, guys. We can throw that away. Woohoo! All right, so that's that card. All right, so we got 2 cards done. We've gone over about 4 different things for uses for the Stamparatus, but we're not done. We have a couple more things to go over. So I mentioned that the photopolymer is really sticky, and there's another one called stamping in the round. I don't know if I call it stamping in the round, but that's what I saw somebody else call it. I call it making a wreath. So the last card features the wreath technique. Okay, so this is the card we're gonna make. Whoa. And I'm going to show you how you can make a wreath. So this was a sample of how we tried to practice with it. Oh, here's another kangaroo. And we tried to make a template that looked like this. And this is where you would, so let's start over. We're using a Ranger wreath, and there are dies for that. I'm using the subtle embossing folder, and a stamp set called Lovely You. The Lovely You is where this leafy thing comes from and where these buds come from that are underneath here. So this is all the stuff. So Ranger Wreath is being retired, Subtle is being retired, and I think Lovely You is being retired. So if any of this stuff is tripping your trigger, you might want to get it. Very cute. The set, I know, Brenda, the set is retiring. We're all sad that the kangaroo, I wish that the kangaroos were carrying over. I really do. So we're going to put this here. So let's look at our next Stamparatus that we have set up. So we're using Pear Pizzazz, Blushing Bride, and then the kangaroo is an early espresso. So I wanted to start over because I wanted to get this guy out for you. So I've got this already set up with how I want them. Hi, Diane. Hi, Feline. We're going to take, so you saw what I'm doing. I'm sliding the magnets off, and for now, I'm going to stick them behind for safekeeping. And you guys are probably asking what this is all about. This is important business here. So you guys saw in the catalog when we first started, I'm grabbing it, they have grid paper you can buy. So this is the Stamparatus grid paper. It comes in the inches and the centimeters. Oh, I got slowness going on. Hey, guys, I just saw it happen. I caught it right away. So we're gonna fix it right away because I don't think, let's just go here real quick. Oh yeah, it's super slow. So hang on, we can fix it. We know how to do this. So hang tight. Hang on. Un momento, por favor. You guys are gonna flip up and see me in a hot second. I know you're gonna see it. And I'm gonna get my second camera situated. And there it is. This happened the other night too, twice. So I'm not sure why, but okay. We're gonna flip it back down, test it with the hands, and we should be good. Hi, Ruth Miller. Okay, so this is something that I created with Kelly by using the Stamparatus grid paper. You can make yours at home, and I'm gonna show you how you can make it at home. What we did is we cut ourselves a 3x3 square, we cut ourselves a 4x4 square, and we cut a 5x5 square. Then what you do is you go to your grid paper, and first, so right here is, we did the 5x5 first because your 5x5 has to fit on here. And we tried to line it up with the paper here, and it did go off. Ours is off slightly on this side, but that's okay. It's just the template for stamping. So once you have a 3-inch, a 4-inch, and a 5-inch square made, what you do with the grid paper is you trace, you get it set up, and you're gonna trace with a colored marker. I chose purple. You guys probably know why I chose purple. If you don't, it's my favorite color. So I went around and I traced the 5-inch square, okay? Then what I did, after I made that 5-inch square, I rotated it clockwise, like an eighth of a, I don't know, what is that, an eighth of a turn. So it's now instead of it looking like a diamond, now it looks like a square. So I traced this now with my purple marker, and I used a ruler. Okay, so now that one's done and traced. I took my 4-inch, and my 4-inch fits right inside. So you have a 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. So you're gonna trace your 4-inch, rotate it to make the diamond, and you're going to trace it that way. So now you've just drew 4 squares. Then you're gonna take the 3-inch, and you're gonna make the outline of that 3-inch as the square, and then make the outline of the diamond. So this is one way that you can do this wreath technique or circular stamping. So once I drew all those squares, I laminated this so that if I got ink on it, I could wipe it off really easily. So that created my template. That's the template that we used in class for stamping this wreath here, the under wreath. The other thing that you can do like the reverse of making it this way is, so we took a die. There was a die in the layering squares, and you can cut out that die. So it's a little bit actually smaller than this 3x3. It's probably 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You cut the die once, and then you cut the die a second time. And then you would cut your die out for stamping, and then you would rotate the piece of paper in this template. So that's one way you can do it, but that we thought that was harder, and we were confined to the size of the die of the square, which was smaller than what we wanted. We wanted to be able to use, this was basically a 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece. Okay, I think hopefully you guys are all following along. If that's not making sense, please let me know, ask me a question. But basically, I created this template. Now this template's in here. I do want to, you don't even necessarily need to use magnets on this. I don't have a foam mat under here. I'm not using foam. Why? Because I have foam on my red rubber stamps here and here. So I've got one color. So I've got green for my leaves, and I got gold glitter in there somehow. I got green for the leaves, and I got Blushing Bride for the buds. This bud's for you. So when you go to your kit, you guys will have in your kit some white roos that are just die cut pieces. They're not stamped. And then you'll also have a piece in case you don't want to use the die cut piece I have. I have 3 of these. I don't know why I have 3 in here. We must have made extra that day. Hi, Jan. You also have a piece of the Flowers for Every Season white ribbon, about 4 inches of it that we'll use in a little bit. You guys in your kit will have a piece of crumb cake, and it is embossed with the subtle embossing folder, very subtle. And you'll have a piece of white for your inside. You'll have a piece of Blushing Bride that is 4x4. You'll have the piece of white that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. The Pear Pizzazz is the one that goes underneath. So there's just a little bit of it peeking out there. And you'll also have a die cut of that soft seafoam wreath. Now that comes from Arrange a Wreath. You'll have a little piece that looks like this, which has the bannered ends, and that is for you to stamp something. Now, we originally did the in-person class before Easter, so my sample had Easter, but we'll do something else for this one. So let's focus on this now, though. Just because we can, we'll put the magnets down. We'll put at least one magnet down here to hold it. And we're going to put an ink pad just so that that's under there holding it. So I'm going to kind of wedge this up in the corner, and the stamp set, again, to show you guys what this one comes from this one. Like this could work for something like this. That all 5 of these images here could work to do a circular type stamping. So this page here you guys have is not 4x4. It's actually 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And the reason we made it that size is because we wanted our Blushing Bride to be 4x4. So just because we made this template 3 inches, 4 inches, and 5 inches doesn't mean we can't use other sizes in the middle. You're just going to have to be accommodating to what you're doing. So I'm going to go towards the 4-inch one, and I'm just going to nestle my 3 3/4 square right in the middle of this. So you're going to have, just make sure you are equidistant all the way around, and I'm going to actually put this guy right on the side there. And you know what? I have 2 magnets. I might as well use them both, right? So that it doesn't move. And in this case, we're going to be moving our paper around. So I don't know. It does. We're just going to go with it. You'll see what I'm talking about. I just changed my mind. I know that. So just know that you have about 1/8 of an inch around each side for your 4-inch square with this. We're going to be working with Pear Pizzazz and the little wreath here. And this one's going to stamp here. And we're going to be moving our paper in this case. So ink up the leaves here. Get your paper. So in this, there's forgiveness if it doesn't, if your paper does move. So that one gets stamped right there. Boom. Now you're going to go up to your diamond. So this, you have to go, you're going to do this 8 times to get the wreath, I think. So this guy's gonna go here. And then we're gonna move it 1/8. So now we're back to our square, like it looks like a square now on the mat or on the Stamparatus. Right here. Yes, Diane, it's time to crack it out. Start using, oh, and then we're just doing 1/8 of a turn here. Right there. Now, if you don't have it exactly lined up, it's not gonna make a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It's just, we're at the end, you're gonna see that it's just creating a circle here. And then we go back to our square, like that. All right, so we're over half now. So back to our diamond. And ink, you're just inking it up every time in between. If you wanted a stamp on, stamp off look, you could also do that. Like if you want, I'll show you when we get to the bud. We're gonna stamp off on that one. I'll show you how to do that. So ink up, we have 2 more yet. So you see it's just making a nice ring around the rosy. Pockets full of posy. And the last one here. All right, so that created our circular stamping. And now that guy's gonna go over the top so it fills in where it's not quite meeting. We're gonna shut up our pear pizzazz and clean this, and we're gonna flip it over now. And I'm gonna show you how to do the bud. So when we were doing the bud, we thought that the first strength looked too dark. So we wanted it at second strength. So with this one, there's a bud, a bud, a bud, and a bud. So we only did 4 buds. I gotta clean that, you guys. Hang on. I had half of it hanging off of there. Okay, so with the bud though, we're gonna do second strength. So, and we're only doing 4. And so I flipped my sheet over and our first one's gonna start up there. So we're only concentrating on this being a square now. And we're gonna ink this up. Now I want it at second strength. So I'm gonna grab a piece of scratch paper and I'm just gonna lightly go over the top of it and massage it a little, get some of that ink off of there. And now I'm gonna press down and it's just as giving me a little bit of pink. Now that's one way. So now remember, we're gonna rotate this like a square. Now if you want it tried and true, so you could put that piece of paper down here, stamp off, and then stamp on like that. It's a lot more even. When I did that with my hand over here, I didn't have it exactly even pressure, so it looked a little splotchy, so let's say. So we're gonna go back and stamp off, and then we're gonna rotate our square, and we're putting the next bud here, and we're gonna rotate one more time, ink up. So I chose not to, or I should say we thought 4 buds was plenty. If we did 8, it was just not good. It was really pinky, blobby, weirdish. So we just went with the 4 like that, just to provide a little bit of color back there. So that's it for the pear pink blushing bride. So clean that up. So you can set up 4 different circular images to stamp however you want to, because you have 2 plates and you could set it up with 4. So that was how I did the circular stamping. Any questions about this mat, email me or Facebook message me. Just message me probably so I can answer any questions you guys have. And I know that I post these videos to YouTube over the weekend. So if anybody's watching this on YouTube later, you guys can reach out to me on my email and ask me questions. So now that we have that circular stamping done, we can flip that over. So I didn't mention to always start in the square position to ensure all stamping is on the square, but that is a really good tip. So Jean just said to always start in the square position to ensure that all your stamping is on the square. That's good. Yeah, because if you start on the diamond position, so let's talk about that really quick. So how did I set that up? So let's grab that Stamparatus back real quick here. So how did I set it up? How did I know where to put that? So what Jean was just talking about was so start on the square, and once I had my wreath part done, then I put this where I wanted it. So it's very possible if you start on this like this, it's going to be harder to set it up. So start it with your square, and then you kind of just lay these. The other thing too, guys, is use photo paper, copy paper. Just use scratch paper. Use scratch paper, cut it the size you need, and use that first versus using nice, good cardstock. Because then if you don't like it, you only used scratch paper. You didn't use up your cardstock. So for the leaf here too, what I did is, now that I've got it done, you just kind of, I started, I'm like, okay, I think we're gonna go right about there. And then I put it on, and then I practiced with it on scratch paper until I got it like, oh, that looks exactly where I want it. So that's how I would set that up. So hopefully this template helps you. It's something you have to make. That's one type of template. The other type of template is this kind of a template. And you would put this down, and then you would just rotate your your square inside that. So a couple different ways to make your template. All right, we're gonna do a little assembly action. So what I did is, now that these two are glued together, what I'm doing is, let's see, I popped that up. So let's see here, how do I want to do this? I actually have this popped up over the top of this. So I'm kind of working backwards with this one. I would normally have glued the green down with glue, but I popped it up, and I don't know exactly where it's going to go on my card front yet. Don't want it too high, I don't want it too low. So what I'm doing is attaching my green to the blushing bride. I know it's centered top to bottom, and I have 1/8 of an inch on each side. So that's what I did first. Then I knew my ribbon needed to go back here. So I grabbed my tear and tape, and I'm gonna do my tear and tape sandwich. Hi, Debbie Michael. I'm gonna find which butt I didn't like that one the best, so that's gonna, oh no, I can't do it that way. So I'm gonna do that butt over there. And I guess that didn't work exactly how I wanted it to, but it'll still look good. So this little guy, I fold it in half, and I'm gonna attach that to the back here. And then I'm gonna grab one more piece of tear and tape and secure that over the top. Not gonna take the waxy part off though, because I wanna further, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna pop up more of this. I'm gonna put a few more dimensionals back on the pink here. And then I'm gonna put glue on the green. I didn't pick that off because I don't want my tape to stick it flat on there because that's popped up. Okay, I think I got them all off. And then I've got my liquid glue on here. And then now I can see where I want this to go. So I'm thinking something, because it's just north of the equator. If you guys know what that means, it's a little bit more higher than lower. All right, and then I've got my dimensionals there and there. If you have extra green hanging over the edge, just take your scissors, trim off that little sliver so it's not hanging off. And then grab your ribbon scissors and figure out how you want your tails to be cut. Come on, little guy, right there. Okay, so something like that. And then this little guy here. So I'm gonna flip this over. Make sure to stella this. Make sure you don't have coral in it. And it's easier to stella this. Lori, I was wondering if you guys could hear that motorcycle. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they can hear the motorcycle that just revved its engine as it was driving by. That answers it. That was really loud. All right, so Stella your leaves from your wreath here. And I'm doing it on my back of my white layer because I don't want to get Stella all over the front of my card. So if I always do it on a scratch paper, then I can be a little bit more sloppy with it. So just like that. And then people asked in class, well, how is the best way to attach it? So there, you guys thought it was at your house. That's funny. I don't like to put liquid glue all over the place because that's just a lot of mess. So I'm strategic about where I put it. If you like to, you could even put some dimensionals behind some of the leaves. But I tried to just put little dots randomly. And I tried to do a little bit on the circle part of the wreath. But you guys, this Arrange a Wreath is one of my favorite things in the annual catalog, and it is retiring. So you need to make sure to get it if you want it. Oh yes, the Feline, the driver was super excited and he was saying, hi, I love your wreath card. So just be careful when you put this down. Try to like layer it exactly where you want it. And then once you have it, then I just kind of squish it. And then it should secure. You guys, so my sound really picked that up very good if you guys thought it was bad where you guys are. Okay, so then we have our inside. Oh, let's see what we want to do for a sentiment. So let's grab Arrange a Wreath. See where I have it actually. Over here. So in here, there's 2 wreath things that you could die cut. This flower is gorgeous. I absolutely love that. It's so pretty on a card. There's a partridge in here. So this makes Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, spring, fall. Very versatile. Yes, the top layer of leaves would be very pretty in vellum too. Absolutely. Well then, let's see here. I don't know. Best wishes. Okay, let's make it a best wishes card. This is going to be somebody's prize for next week anyways. So if it's best wishes, then you guys can use it. Whoever wins it can use it for maybe a baby card for somebody that is a new mother that's expecting. So we're going to use best wishes and put that in early espresso on the banner. So another, we mentioned this, but the foam mat, if you guys don't have the piercing mat, the foam mat works great for stamping for your foam underneath. And I'm stamping it a little closer to my banner end than my other end, because that's going to be tucked underneath the little baby kangaroo. Yes, you're absolutely correct, Lori. The dies can be 110% used by themselves alone. That is a true statement. So back to here then, I did pop up my wreath on that side. Oh, not my wreath, my banner on that side. And then I'm going to do it flat on this side. And then let's grab one of these little dudes here. And you might have to trim some of your end off here to make it just a little bit shorter. We gave you a bunch. And I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue. So when I do my banners, guys, I like them to be what I call fluttering in the wind. So the bannered end I usually pop up, and then the other side I put flat. And he's going to be hanging out right in the wreath like that. And then we're going to pop up him. In your kit, you'll have 6 pearls. There's a large one, 2 medium ones, and 3 small ones. And I took my Flirty Flamingo blend. So I kept the blends contained for this class to Crumb Cake, Flirty, and to Bronze. And so on this, there are a few pearls, and they're colored with the dark Flirty Flamingo. And after you color them, they pop out really cool in this wreath. And I don't know, I didn't put pearls in my kit for right now, so I'll wait and put those pearls on in a bit. So I saw a sympathy card using the wreath and another vellum wreath layer. That is, yes. You know, all it takes is for us to see 1 or 2 things with either a stamp set or a die set used, and we have to have it. I will buy sets just because of a saying. It happened. I had never bought the All Things Fabulous stamp set, and I saw a sentiment in there about sunshine, and I had to buy, thanks for the stars, Diane. I had to buy the stamp set because of the saying that's in it. So you guys, I think I cut your kits, your crumb cake, I think I cut them the hot dog style. So this way versus the hamburger style. So your card will actually open up and down like that. So I think that's how I did that. So that might, I cut yours like this, I think, so that you know that there's a difference. It's going to look exactly the same. It's just going to open differently. Okay, so let's recap where we're at. I know we're at 2 hours, and I just have a few more things I want to show you with the Stamparatus. We talked about just basic, simple stamping, how the Stamparatus is great. If you have shaky or weaker hands, it just helps you to consistently stamp good. We went over the hinge step technique with this card, using the hinge there. We talked about repeat stamping. So just if you need to ink it up again and restamp it, you just can repeat it, and as long as your paper doesn't move. We talked about die cutting a bunch of pieces, like here comes the motorcycle guy again. Huh. If you guys can hear that, I don't know, but I can hear him. He's making rounds around the block. There, you can hear him. So we die cut a bunch of pieces, and then you can just set up a template in your Stamparatus. The other thing, so that's basically what these cards featured. But, hi Carol Fox. So just to recap, these were the 3 cards. I just always like to do a snagget or a snippet at the end here of all of them in case Facebook so chooses to capture that as a thumbnail. But the other thing that's awesome is the Stamparatus allows you to not have to buy this big daddy of a block. This is called the F block. No, I'm serious. It's the F block, and it's huge. There is no way that my little hand can just boom, 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 stamp ink all the time. No, I'm not going to do it. And when you have stamps like this one, Butterfly Brilliance, where it is a big, huge stamp, they recommend the F block because that's what is big enough to fit it. So if I have to do that, I generally ink it upside down, and I put my paper on top of it, and then I run the piece of paper over the top, and I upside down stamp is how I do that. Well, if you don't want to spend $20 on the Big Daddy block and you don't have a Stamparatus, you can invest that $20 into a Stamparatus. Let's grab the Stamparatus. So you can use this as your big F block. So what you would do is position this where you're going to want to stamp it. And you put this here. And now you can set your paper in here, pretend it's bigger paper, and ink it up, and then stamp. Boom, 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 stamp. And then if you have another piece, and you can just do that consistent stamping with this now. So that F block, like, it's great, but why have the F block when you can have the Stamparatus and you get all the other features and benefits of the Stamparatus? So that's the other thing I noted on here is get rid of the large F block and use your Stamparatus to use this whole sheet for it, or this whole plate for it. Okay, so that was that. The other thing too is I noticed that the 2 and 3 step stamping. So I want to show you too about 2 and 3 step stamping. You guys got to give me 20 seconds. Yeah, Brenda. Yes, it's perfect. You don't have to use that big block. Give me 20 seconds. Hopefully my camera doesn't go all wonky on me. I'm going to go get a stamp set that I want to show you. It's called 2-step stamping, 3-step stamping. Okay, hang on. So we did the art gallery class last week. Let me grab this. On Thursday night, we did the art gallery class. So that stamp set has, that's dirty, so we don't want that there. This has 3 flowers. This one, that one, and that one. And you could set this up. Hi, Anna. You could set your Stamparatus up so that all 3 of these pieces, so let's say you're making 10 cards. You want to make all your Easter cards or all your Valentine's Day cards. A bunch of, so we have Brenda Lee and we have Tony Lee. I love it. So you guys, so let's grab this piece of paper here and we're gonna set this up. Let's grab it. So you can't push these down. These do not nestle down flat. If you're gonna be storing this, I would put this one flat and then you're just gonna set this one on top of it like this. You can't have it in the hinges here. But, so let's say you wanna do oh, Feline, you just got you got working on your card kits last night. That's awesome. So you could set up the Stamparatus here. So we're gonna put this here. Oh, now though, wait. These are photopolymer, so we have to pull in the foam mat. So we're gonna pull this in. Grab, I always work on this bottom corner, and I am gonna grab the other magnet. We're gonna put that here. So what you would do is you could set up this stamp here. It's gonna stick on there. So you saw how that moves slightly. That photopolymer stamp is sticky, super sticky. So I like to use a little extra tape just to hold it down. I don't want it wiggling on me. So what did we do the other night? We did Rococo Rose. Hang on, let's grab the rose. And we used Mary Merlot. Okay, so we're gonna use these colors and we're gonna do the Rococo Rose first. We might as well ink it up. Let's get this guy underneath here. So I'm just showing you some extra things you can use the Stamparatus for. So that's our Rococo Rose. So ink that up good. Again, be very careful letting that come up so it doesn't move your paper. So that's set up there. Now what you can do is flip this over and you're gonna do, so that's a little dirty, so just know that when you put it on your stamp pad that it might get dirty. Then this guy's gonna go here, and because it's photopolymer, you can see, let's see if I'm on the, don't wanna knock anything over, so you guys can see this. So this is gonna be Mary Merlot, and we're gonna do the Mary Merlot at second strength. So set this up on here. Careful it doesn't move. Now we talked about second strength. So ink that up. Now if we do that first, you gotta put your piece of paper down so that that becomes second strength, like that, okay? Then the last little dude here could be on this plate up here. Again, don't want it to move on me. So we're gonna ink that up. Don't worry about that ink. If it worries you, clean it. But I know that it's not gonna hit my paper because there's about 1/8 of an inch. So this is just another way that you, if you're gonna be doing a lot of stamping over and over with the same image, you can set up to 4 different, I'm sure you could even set it up more somehow, but I stick with 4. You could do here, 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 and then on the back side. And you can stamp all those different images. And it would be just grab your next piece of paper. It'd be boom, 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 boom. And honestly, there's no order that you really have to do. You don't have to do them lightest to darkest. And as long as you put your paper back in that same spot, you can consistently stamp the same image over and over again. Okay, so that is what I call 2-step or 3-step stamping. So that is another way. Okay, I have one more I want to show you. So it's called, I think it's mirror stamping. So I'll be honest with you guys. I've not done this before and we're gonna learn it together, but I watched a YouTube video so I can share it with you all in this video to see how it goes. So, and I thought the kangaroo is the perfect set to try it with, and that is a photopolymer set as well. So So let me think about this. We're not going to use these colors at all. So let's go get those out of the way. So there's one left here, and we're going to put Art Gallery away. And you guys, if you know other ways, I mentioned this earlier in the video, if you have something else that you can use, a great tip for the Stamparatus, add it in the comments here so that we can see them, so that we always like to learn and get ideas. So we're going to do reflective or like mirror stamping. I made 2 sets of the 12 sets. Yeah, it's not too difficult with it. Yeah. Oh, it all stamping by hand. It's not too difficult stamping by hand, but I'll tell you, using the Stamparatus can really help if you set it up and can get your templates all set up. So this is called reflective or mirror stamping. So, right. So you do need something special for this. You need something like the silicone mat. So I got that right here. And what's going to happen is we're going to be stamping our little kangaroo, but we're also going to be so we're going to have them facing each other. So, oh man, I saw a video on this, so I can show you how to do it. I'm telling myself that so that I believe myself. Okay, so hang on. Let's cut off of my flower here because I want to cut this off so that I'm not confused with my flower. So, un momento. Let's get that off of here. So, the concept is that we need to have this. This is like a silicone mat. This is for sale. You can get it from Stampin' Up. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to stamp our little dude. So he is on here. And I'm going to pretend that I'm going to go with that little corner there. And trust me, guys, I'm a professional. What's the saying? Relax. I'm a professional, right? So what the main thing that we have to do, yeah, this is hard, Brenda. And I only saw it for like 5 minutes and I'm like, oh, I think I got it. So we're putting this underneath here. We're grabbing our brown ink pad, which I believe is over here. And we're gonna ink up our little dude. So this is the little baby kangaroo from the set. You're gonna stamp it on your silicone mat. And what I saw happen is it was like 3 times that you stamp it so that you get plenty of ink on the silicone mat. Now, I'm sure there's a method to the madness and the reason for the season of making it look perfect and exact, but what I'm doing is I'm gonna put this paper down over the top and I'm gonna line it up with this little, I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but I'm gonna put it right there. And I'll put my magnet over it so it doesn't move. And then what you can do is either clean it or you can just ink it again. So it was super cool. The example was that you can stamp on both sides of the paper and then when you cut it out, you have the image on both sides. So now I'm just gonna press this down here and I'm gonna end up, I know I got that scratch over here on the side, but you guys, this is just to show you another example of the mirror technique. Not anything crazy, but okay. So now we've got our little kangaroo here and I'm kind of matched in that corner there. So what happens now is that this should flip over and you have a kangaroo, right? Just like that. And now I did them so their butts are back to back. Okay, that's fine. They're like, I don't want to talk to you either. Let's see where that was. So this was over here. Something like, so there's a certain way that you can set it up so that they're exactly right, but I didn't take the time to like measure anything. But now what you do is you stamp this guy and I have it off just kilter, I think a bit, but it makes it so that they're backwards. So he was the backwards one and he was the right one, but they're reflective images of each other. So what was super cool, what I saw is that like this is stamped exactly where this guy is. So you could cut this out and you would have him, so you could take like on a popsicle stick or some kind of a stick and put them in like a cupcake, and he would be decorated on both sides. So if I would have put them facing each other, I could have put like happy anniversary or like something about a pair or a couple, and they would be like, oh, I love each other and looking at each other, but apparently they're not talking to each other right now. So, and neither one's budging right now. So, all right. So that's the reflective stamping or mirror stamping. So I've seen that too, where you have an ice pond or a skating rink type look, and then you have the snowman skating or a person skating, and then you have the reflective image. This is how you can do it. So you want to get one of these silicone mats, and these things too, you can put underneath like the sink and just wash them and rinse off the ink. That works too. But I had never done this before, guys, and so yep, they're twin babies, exactly. So you could make this as a congratulation card for a woman who's got like twins coming, and two little twinnaroos. So all you have to do then is clean up the sheet here. Your little stamp fits on here, and then you can take your chamois to clean off the silicone mat. So a purpose for the silicone mat right here. I don't generally use that very much. You guys don't see me pull it out, but it's great for this. And if you have gluey things that you need to glue, then it will help keep your glue on this and not something else. So, all right. Did you guys learn anything? I had my little laundry list of stuff. We talked about a lot of this stuff double. I don't think I forgot anything. Main thing is just use your Stamparatus. Pull it out. Hang on, I need a drink, guys. That's a lot of hot air that came out of me in those 2 hours. So the main thing is you got to use your Stamparatus. Like, pull it out of the box. Use it, right? Don't let it sit there and collect dust. I've shown you at least 8 different ways that you can take advantage of using it. I can pretty much bet if anybody hasn't been using it and you use a lot of blocks and you pull this out, you're going to stop using so many blocks and having to clean all your blocks all the time. You're going to keep this right by your workstation or wherever you stamp and keep it handy. Linda has been stamping for decades and never realized the silicone, yeah, inked on with water-based inks. Yet you definitely don't want to use your Stampin' Blends with it. So, oh man. Okay. So, you know, I didn't know that either till I watched it. So you guys, almost anything you can find by Googling it. So that was, I can't take credit for that one. I had to look that one up because somebody mentioned, I think Jean Maxwell told me about make sure you talk about the mirror technique. And that's how I looked it up. So I just want you guys to use your Stamparatus. If you don't have a Stamparatus and they're brand new to you, that you've never seen them in use and you want to get a Stamparatus, talk to me. They're $49. They're well worth every penny, just as long as you use them, right? Almost everything's worth it when you use it. But they're a great investment, and right now they're over $40, so they would count for any of my future classes that have an order base, where if you order a minimum $40, you can get a free class. So if you got the Stamparatus, you could pick out a class that I have coming up. So Sue said she also punched out the tulip punch on scrap paper, set that scrap piece on a Stamparatus, and set the stamps in the open areas. Then you punch lines. Oh, then it went away. Then you punch lines up every time. No waste. Yeah, that's awesome. Great tip. Great tip. So Thursday night, you guys, we're going to be live. Now, just a reminder, it's going to be in the game night group. It's a public group, but you have to have access to it. So if you ask to be admitted into the group after I go live, I am not watching requests. So I highly recommend, if you're not part of the Cards by Christine Stampin' Game Night and Card Workshop group, please send me a request between now and 5 p.m. that night, because then I will probably see it. But once I go live, I don't see it. What's going to happen is Kelly's going to be sitting with me, and she's going to share the video to the Cards by Christine page. But if you're not part of the group, you won't be able to get into that group to see it live. But I will add it as a video later in the Cards by Christine page, and it'll also be on YouTube. So you'll be able to catch those Dragonfly cards later if you're not part of that group. Then on Sunday at 5 Central, we're going to do the Ink, Paper, Scissors Butterfly Brilliance card class. I have 24 people that are doing that with me, and that is full as well. You guys rocked it. I have full classes galore. And hydrangea's getting there. I have about 7 spots left for hydrangea. Now, if you guys are loving on the kangaroos and you want more kangaroos, this is also a class you could get free with a $40 order. And the stamp set and the dies are available for purchase. And this is the In Color retirement class that I have coming up online via Facebook Live April 30th. So these are featuring 5 different In Colors that are retiring. So it's my saying goodbye to the In Colors. And you would get these 5 kits for free with a minimum $40 purchase. So you guys, I have a current host code. To qualify for a free class, you got to use the host code. So that links it to a workshop, and that's what qualifies it to get the free class. So I've got that coming up. I have the April monthly card class coming up. I have so many classes coming up. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. And now here we go. Lots of classes for us to have fun with and be lots of crafty and creative together. So, okay. I always feel like I'm forgetting something. Like last week, Thursday, I completely forgot to announce who the paper pumpkin card winners were. But those people saw it in the post later. On Thursday night, I will be sharing with you live who are the winners for the Art Floral cards. And I will probably do these cards already. So we'll have 7 cards to give away on Thursday night. So I think I'm going to go play with my new stuff. So I hope you guys are good that I get to go do that. That's so much fun. So, and then I'm going to start prepping for the catalogs and getting you guys ready to get your catalogs. So that'll be good. And I have a Tip Tuesday that'll be coming to you tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to use a punch. So there's a Label Me Fancy punch, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to use that punch. So watch for that tomorrow morning. That's when it will air. So all right. I love sharing, Tammy, and I'm happy that you are doing classes with me. All of you guys, I'm so happy that you take my classes with me. I appreciate your support and love. And you guys have a great night. Lots of sunshine and love and hugs until I see you again. Bye.